No cowards in our camp, wanna let their colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking the moment they are called. Their chance of solving a murder is cut in half if they don't get a lead within the first 48 hours.
I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. You will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my daughters safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Sitting in that room, hear the interrogator's voice. They asking why I do it. I tell them I had no choice. Couldn't take a threat or a risk to my family, so throw the book at me. I take them charges happily. Ain't no need for no polygraphs or forensics. I put that fucker in a body bag, I'll admit it. Fuck a sentence or the jury that will convict me. They don't understand, it's my family, they represent me. So for them, I risk my freedom, roll the dice. I ain't got much more for you crackers, go ahead and give me life. You don't know what it's like for the people that you love. They ain't there to get salutes, they ain't there to give you hugs. The same that done pulled me from the dirt and from the mud is gone because of who? Y'all rather shed your blood. My brother's kids like my other kids. If you touch them, fuck around, get another bid, plus 10. Put me in the Supermax, I get super jacked, working out every day, canteen super stack, cool with that. Long as it mean my daughter's safe, my brother's winning, that's a chance I take. Seal my fate. I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. I got wives that done gave they all to stand beside me. Kids that can't see me fall, look at me proudly. Respected by men with honor up on their names. You harm one of them, I promise that you'll see pain. I'm one West train, made an oath to uphold it. Stood with my back against the wall, never folded. Grew up in the city where the love ain't brotherly. I ain't had too many friends, I ain't need the company. I'm my father's son, so I'm cool, just don't fuck with me. I say that you my homie, you're my brother, then you stuck with me. Never turn my back on mine, it's to the dirt. You cross them across that line, I end you first. hurt would only make it worse, cause loyalty hard to find. Never think cause you out of sight, you out of mind. And I don't mind dying now, cause reincarnation got me coming back. Same scars in my heart aching. Be parlaying with killers from all places. Every last one of them for me a broad day shit. So what you think, I won't do it for them? Once they let me out the cell, shit, I do it again. It's for the family. I do anything to keep my brother safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my people safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48.
One no cowards in our camp, while the red colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Law Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Counter all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. You know that you are as cold as ice to me. You know that you are.
Take a second, we reflecting with the light, but this the life, I fucking love it. Wouldn't trade it to be white, now that's alright. I got the right at birth, the devil's redefining work.
Someday you'll pay the price.
No, I don't break a fold, I need and bake the dough, then recreate the flow. They think they making dough, what they forsake is so essential. Over lentils, get your issue, guess who's on this instrumental with you? A damn if we was family, view unread and call it spam. I'm not a fan of Antichrist, they slayed the man, I swayed the Tim. Like here I am, the son of Sam is taking shots at David Berkowitz. Pussy.
Someday you'll pay the price.
A different discipline existed in this New York state of mind. Say since now, no, not the actor, but the year he's effort. Not one thing in mind to grind until this gavel turns his words to mirth from Babel. Frontlines is 69.
Shalom Shabbatam.
Yo, can you just stand by 1 second, all right?
Concert.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I got like this. This is like an apartment, and a hotel. You know what I mean? This here, right here, is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
Fayetteville, yo, check your camera out. Check your camera out, please.
Shalom Shabbatam to everyone. Kevin Mashak, we have people on Clubhouse joining us as well. So I informed them that if they have a question, just to message me and I can ask the question for them to the general, sir.
That'll work. That's to
Concert.
Is there any way to show the screen they'll be typing on, or it's or you know, to maybe to share that screen to they talk while they ask the question, or
on Club Deck is on Clubhouse is just people speaking. It's not really like anything to look at or watch.
Okay, no sweat. That's too wild. Then you have it right. When you get the question, you just let the general know there's a question coming.
Concert.
Shalom.
We're live, Akim.
take a second, we reflecting with the light, but this the life, I fucking love it. Wouldn't trade it to be white, now that's alright. I got to write it first, the devil's redefining work.
Rocking and rolling. Let's get it on, Akim.
Concert. Alawapanya. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bakathum, Tawada Akim, Yahweh Shemala, Thun by Shem Yahushai. Clap it up. Let's get it on. All right, Akim Agwathian. Let's get your questions together today. We'll do our topics. Our topics are, we'll go into the whole Whoopi Goldberg situation. We'll give you the Israelite School of UPK's official stance on Whoopi Goldberg, as well as, what's the cat's name, the football cat? Brian Flores. We'll give you the UPK's official stance on that. Hold on one second. Let me fix something. Bear with me, Akim, for 1 second.
So like a general?
Go ahead,
we also got Clubhouse joining us as well. So when I'll inform you when someone from Clubhouse has a question, so I can ask to you.
Yeah, that's all the same to me. I halfway don't even know what that is. Does anybody has a question? Just let me know about the questions. All right.
You got it, sir.
Solid. Let's rock and roll right now. Brian Flores. We'll question and we'll examine whether or not Brian Flores gives blacks and Hispanics the same opportunity that he would like white people to give him, the same opportunity that he would like the NFL to give him. We'll see if Whoopi Goldberg gives black people the opportunity and the patience and the kindness that she would like CBS to give her. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how hard it is to get a job from Brian Flores. Ooh-wee. We'll see how hard it is for Whoopi Goldberg to give a black man some patience and some consideration. We'll see. And then we'll go over the same old thing that Christ went over, how the rich are not joined to us, how the rich do not care about your persecution. They fight all day for their own personal achievement. They're full of ambition, but they lack compassion. Before that, I'll answer your questions. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Questions? La Yashala.
Consor, I have a question here in a HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Consor, I would like to know if you can provide more scriptures on mental illness or depression.
No problem. Let's go into a few of them. You can go where Satan came to Christ and asked Christ to throw himself off of the building, the temptation that Christ went through. That's a good one to understand it. The girl who killed 7 men before a man of God cast the demon out of her. That's another good one. Let me give you let's start with those. Those might be fine. All right. Let's rock and roll. Give me the one where Christ went through it first. All right. Many people read the Bible, and this is why it's very important to look at the Bible as a practical book and not a book of fantasies that people had a long time ago. Because if the Bible is not practical, and when I say practical, meaning it applies to everyday use. It has a use in your modern day life. When the Christians read the Bible and when people in the world read the Bible in general, they look at the Bible like it's, like it's a bunch of old dusty people with long dusty beards in the desert talking to each other, and that it really doesn't apply to you and I today, but we kind of look up to it and look at it as, these were good people that lived a long time ago. As you know, Commanding General YAHANNA had the audacity to actually live the Bible, to look at it as something that was practical in modern everyday life. And here's another thing that you're going to need in everyday life that they needed 6,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. You are going to have to learn how to fight demons. There is no way to stay alive without it. There is no way to avoid it. There is no way to say that's not my problem. That's not something that I have to deal with. That's something that people did in the Bible a long time ago. No, demons are here today the same way that they were around 2,000 years ago. And demons are here to kill you, to destroy you. That's why they're here. All right. We better go to Lazarus first quickly. All right. Let's go to Lazarus and then we'll go to Christ. Nice. I'm sorry. What do you have right now?
I got the Matthew chapter 4 one that you wanted with Satan tempted Christ.
Yeah, I'll take that. Go ahead.
This is in Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Verse 2.
To be what?
Tempted of the devil.
To be tempted. Hey, Mashak, any way you can move my name off the screen? I don't think people can see me speak. Is that me or is that you? You got me right, Mashak. Solid. What does it mean to be? Say again.
I think it's the way how your camera is angled. Even if I adjust the name, let me see what I could do, sir.
Yeah, you can just get rid of the name if you can. All right. Unless I might have to back up or something like that. So now, Christ was tempted of the devil. What does the term tempted mean? Seduced. That's what tempted means in this. That's perfect, Mashak. That's what tempted means in this context. All right. Seduced. And Satan is always attempting to seduce the children of God. That is his battleground. So it has to be your battleground. You're going to have to fight the demons that attack you every day. They attacked your father and he lost. They attacked your mother and she lost. And there's only one way to lose a fight with a demon, and that's to join him in his fight, to become an ally of that demon. And that's what most of us have done. You never even tried. You joined him. A demon came to you to tempt you, to seduce you into drugs, and you ran headlong into it. To tempt you and to seduce you into illicit sex, into unlawful sex. You were a happy ally to the demon trying to kill you. Well, Christ went through that same temptation. Christ was just like us, huh? He was tempted just like us. And Satan came to him the same way he comes to you, to get you to betray your God, knowing that in doing so, then he can have you. Came to him once he has you, you will truly have a mental illness. That's what's going to happen. You're definitely going to be a bug-out, schizophrenic, lunatic, eating out of trash cans, living in your grandmama's house, and your grandmother scared to death to get you out the house because you lost. You lost the war by not trying to fight.
Right, sir.
All right. So give me what happened. Christ was tempted of a demon. Go ahead, of the devil. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Matthew chapter 4, verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered.
So that's what you need to know. He was hungry. He was low. He had been on the fast for 40 days and 40 nights. He was hungry afterwards, starving. That's the perfect time for a demon to come to you. And that's what they always do. A demon comes to you when you're hurting. A demon is the best friend of everybody suffering, of everyone that's in pain, of every child who is abandoned by their parents, of every molested little boy and girl, of everyone lost and left and neglected and alone. A demon comes to be your best friend, and he comes to soothe your pain. Smoke this and you won't care about anything anymore. Keep drinking. Don't stop drinking. And then you won't feel the pain anymore. Keep having sex with this person and that person and that person, and then you won't feel the pain anymore. A demon always comes to you, YAHANNA, when you are at your lowest level, when you are weakened, when your flesh is weak. Continue.
Concern. This is verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
And then what? And then he said, if you're the Son of God, you're hungry, right? Well, then turn these stones to bread then, so you can eat the stone. Turn the stone to bread because you're the Son of God. But Christ was on a fast. He was on a fast. So he wasn't eating anything. He wasn't going to do that. Keep going.
Verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
So what did Christ do? Satan tried to tell him, well, you're the Son of God. Instead of being hungry up here and wait until you get down off the mountain to eat, just turn this stone to bread. That's all you got to do. You're the Son of God. And Christ told Satan, I know men need bread to eat. That's true. But that's not all they need. That's not all you need to live is food and water. But by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, meaning not only is food and water a necessity to live, the word of God is a necessity to live. So what does that tell you? You need the truth to fight demons. You need the word of God to fight demons. If you don't have the word of God, then you don't have a basic necessity of life, practical knowledge. Practical. You're going to have God's word to survive, just like you need food or water. You're going to also need the word of God. Christ knew that, and he had it. And if you have it, you will use it, and you won't be a drug addict. You won't be an alcoholic. You won't be someone that can't stop buying prostitutes and can't get off of, websites where you constantly are buying prostitutes because you had your first prostitute at 13. Or your uncle bought you a prostitute and now you're sexualized at an early age, or because you had sex with a grown crackhead when you were 11 years old, and now because of that you can't stop. You need the word of God to be able to live. Continue.
Concern. Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy
right there. He's going to give you about 3 or 4 temptations. Christ is going to battle each one the way I just taught you to battle it just now, which is where Commanding General YAHANNA taught it to me from. And that's what you got to do. You want to fight demons, you got to come to class. You got to obey the words of God. Also, the Lord said, if there be any sick among you, bring him into the elders and let the faithful prayers of the saints heal the sick. You're going to have to come up in here, brother, and let us heal you. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to obey our instructions the same way an angel of God, oh, get this last one, please. Just give me the end part when he got the fish and he healed the girl. This is a major thing to talk about the brother that asked the question about mental illness, right? And this is the one that demons hate the worst. And because demons hate it the worst, it confirms that this is the answer. Read it for me in the Apocrypha, all right? There's a scripture in the Apocrypha where an angel from God went and traveled with a brother to go receive a woman who was his by right. But this woman had killed 7 men, strangled each one of them on the marriage night. But God told this man to go marry this woman, and his family needed this woman and her sustenance, her money, her wealth, because they were very poor. The husband's family was very poor. So the father sent his son out. You got it up. Are you with me, Ashar?
Yes, so we're looking for the scripture for you right now, sir.
Is in Tobit. All right, that's the end of about Tobit 4, Tobit 5. So now the father sent this brother out with an angel. He was unaware that this man was an angel. And the man told him, listen, man, you're going to marry this woman. This is what you're going to do. We're going to find this fish. I'm sorry. I'm moving too far ahead. A fish attempted to kill the man as they were on the way on this long journey to go find this woman. A big fish jumped out the water and tried to kill him. They fought off the attack of the fish and they killed the fish. And then they gutted the fish and ate the fish. But they saved the innards, the guts of the fish.
We got
it. The angel told them, come on, this we'll read it from here. Go ahead.
Tobit chapter 6, verse 1. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 6, verse 1. And as they went on their journey, they came in the evening to the river Tigris, and they lodged there. Verse 2. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him. Verse 3. Then the angel said unto him, take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. Verse 4. For whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. Verse 5. So the young man did as the angel commanded him, and when they had roasted the fish, they did eat it. Then they both
Go ahead.
Then they both went on their way till they drew nearer to Akbaton.
So now skip down. I hear echo too. Skip down to when they used the guts of the fish. Skip down. The angel told him to take those guts, to take them up, take them with him. So they packed them up and they took the guts with him. Then when he got to the house, he met the mother and the father. He talked to them. They had a dinner. And the father knew that this was flesh of his flesh, bone of his bone. This man was in his family, and this man had the right to this woman. And the father was happy and sad because he was happy to see a man from his blood, from his flesh and bone, to come marry his daughter. But he believed the man was not going to make it through the night. He believed he was going to die, and he was going to be out digging an 8th grave to put another man in this grave that his daughter was going to kill. So he warned the brother. The brother had no fear. He was no coward. He went upstairs. He got into bed with the woman, and they prayed to the Most High God at the foot of the bed and prayed and asked the Lord for mercy. And he said, Lord, I take not this woman for lust, but I take it for thy commandment's sake. And they got into the bed, brother, and before they had sex, this is what he did. Go ahead and read.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 6, verse 16. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume, and shalt lay upon them some of the heart and liver of the fish, and shall make.
So imagine you take the frankincense and myrrh. That's the ashes of perfume, and you mixed it. You know, the incense you burn because it smells wonderful, right? And you mix that with the heart and the liver, some of the heart and some of the liver of the fish. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the devil shall smell it and flee away and never come again anymore. But when
he did that, I'm sorry, I got to move on for time's sake. He did that. He burnt that incense. But skip down to when it actually happened. Levi. See me one more time with the chaser. Skip down to when it happened. It's right down there.
Fear not, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning. And
that's not when it happened. Skip down to when he was in the bedroom and he went over and did it.
Probably the next chapter.
Right. No problem.
Is it
Go on.
You need some help. Hold on. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, here we go. And then remember, okay, read 2.
7 and 2. Oh, 8 and 2.
Right, go ahead.
The book of Tobit, chapter 8, verse 2. And as he went, he remembered the words of Raphael and took
Raphael, meaning the angel Rapha Allah. one of the major, the highest ranking angels in heaven. Raphael or Rapaya Allah was the angel that accompanied him to marry this woman. Okay, go ahead.
And took the ashes of the perfumes and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereupon and made a smoke.
I believe Rapaya Allah means healing angel. Healing angel, right? Because this angel knows how to heal. That's his specialty, right? Maya Ka'ala means like it's a warrior angel. He knows how to fight. But Rapaya Allah, his specialty, his office, his operation is healing. He knows what the hell he's doing. And once again, this is an angel. So he could have healed this. He could have healed this woman by, some supernatural power. He could have healed her by snatching the demon out of her. But instead, he taught this man how to heal a woman with this kind of demon. A demon that lives inside of her and is violent to anyone who tries to love her. When he remembered the words of Raphael or Rapaya Allah in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
The witch smelled when the evil spirit had smelled.
No, when he remembered the words of Rapaya Allah. Go ahead.
And took the ashes of the perfumes and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereupon and made a smoke therewith.
Keep going.
Verse 3. The witch smelled when the evil spirit had smelled, he fled into the utmost parts of Egypt, and the angel bound him.
So when the demon smelled the incense, the demon ran. He ran to the utmost parts of Egypt, and when he was in Egypt, Raphael grabbed him up. It was like a sting operation. This angel went all the way, walked with this man, and then gave this man the recipe to chasing this demon out of this woman. He burnt the incense. The demon smelled it. The demon left the woman, and then Raphael was there to arrest him, to take him into justice. And he arrested this demon. Now, here's my question for you. How did the demon smell the incense? Who would like to answer? How did he smell him? Fayetteville, North Carolina, you want to answer? Fayetteville, you got an answer? How about Harlem, Jerusalem? Harlem, you got an answer?
I do.
Let's give it to me, officer. Right, give me the officer with the cover on. Go ahead.
Salakia, so he came back.
No, how did he smell it? It said when the demon smells it, how did he smell it? How did he smell it? Go ahead.
If I may, the women smell it because the demon was in the woman.
The woman smelled it. Demons don't have noses and hands and feet, right? The woman smelled it. The demon was in the woman, where did the smoke go then? If the woman smelled it, where did the smoke go? Puerto Rico, where did the smoke go? You want to give it a shot? Where did the smoke go? It's just logic. That's all. Where does smoke go? If I lit a fire in your house, where would the smoke go? If I lit incense in your house, say again.
So everywhere else?
Everywhere is true, but where else would it go? If I lit incense in the room you're in right now, where would the smoke go? It would go everywhere, which means if I lit it in a room with you in it, where would it go? How about this?
It will go to the rooms outside the house.
I'll put it to you the way I know you understand. Back when you used to, 1 second, back in Puerto Rico, back when you used to smoke, did you smoke weed in the world? Smoke cigarettes?
Cancer.
Right. Where did that smoke go?
To the air.
It went to the air. You sure?
And to my lungs.
And you wasted a lot of weed then.
To my lungs, sir.
That ain't where my weed went. Okay. Have you ever heard of secondhand smoke, Puerto Rico?
Kind of, sir.
What's secondhand smoke?
I smoke, and the person next to me receive the smoke also.
Because when the smoke is in the air, where does it go?
It go to the person that next to me, to their lungs also.
So when the angel lit this incense next to the bed, where did the smoke go? Puerto Rico.
If you can give me a help,
No problem.
if you can help me.
If I light a cigarette in the room, even though the child is not smoking the cigarette, the smoke will go in the child's nose, in the child's lungs, and then the child will die 20 years later of cancer from secondhand smoke. Do you understand? So this incense that was lit in the room with this woman, the incense went into the woman.
Consul.
How did it get into the woman, Puerto Rico? It might be the language barrier. Maybe that's it. It's probably my error for not knowing enough Spanish. My apologies, warrior. Let me get someone else. I.S.U.P.K. St. Louis. How did the smoke get into the woman? Where did the smoke go? The smoke went in the woman, correct, St. Louis?
St. Louis, your mic is muted.
St. Louis?
Cut on car, sir. It went through her nose.
It went in her nose. He said it. I heard him say it. Come back to me. It went in her nose. So the incense went inside the woman. How did it get into the woman? It went through an aerosol method. Aerosol. Just like a asthma inhaler. What's in, any of you ever had asthma or know anybody with asthma? Raise your hand. About the entire tribe of Judah, I think, has had asthma, right? Right. So what's inside an asthma inhaler? Headquarters, Jerusalem. What's inside of an asthma inhaler? Officer.
Salakia, sir, air.
No, air is not inside an asthma inhaler. Air is in that room.
It's air. It's medicine, sir.
Inside an asthma inhaler. What's inside of an asthma inhaler? One word will do. Medicine. That's what's inside an asthma inhaler. Medicine. How does the medicine get into your body?
If I may,
break through. Now, someone else, Ashar.
Concert.
Okay, when you breathe in an asthma inhaler, there's medicine in an asthma inhaler. Okay, there's a medicine I believe called Primatine, right? There's a few other medicines.
Albuterol.
How does it get in your body? North Carolina.
You would inhale it and it goes through your lungs. Out of one.
That's right. And if you're in an asthma attack and you inhale the medicine in an inhaler, what can happen or what will happen with the Lord's will? If you have a pump of your asthma inhaler in the middle of an asthma attack, what will happen?
So, like if I may say, you would be relieved of the pain from inhaling or the pressure that's causing your lungs to collapse, sir.
Yeah, it will save your goddamn life in the name of the Lord. That's what it will do. In the middle of an asthma attack, it will save your damn life. And what's inside that asthma? What's inside that asthma inhaler?
Sir.
Go ahead, North Carolina.
Medicine. Albuterol.
Medicine. What? Albuterol, Thawada. What was inside that incense holder? Syracuse. What was in the incense holder?
Medicine.
Syracuse,
Medicine,
New York. Say again.
Medicine, sir.
Harlem. What was inside the incense holder that's set by the bed with the fish guts? Medicine. Medicine. That's what was in it. Medicine. What was that medicine? I can tell you why y'all was shot. What was that medicine? Rapaya Allah know how to make it. Because that's his business. He knows how to make that medicine. He's Rapaya Allah. He is the healing angel. He said, grab that fish, take the guts out of that fish, and mix it with the ashes from the incense in their bedroom. He knows how to make that medicine. What is the key to fighting a demon? Come to a man of God and he will tell you which medicine to take.
Right.
Take your goddamn medicine. If you have schizophrenia, if you have a bipolar disorder, take the medicine. Now, you can be afraid of medicine because you're not a man of God. Hold your point, headquarters. You're not a man of God. You don't understand things. You have a demon.
Right.
A lot of you lunatics, schizophrenics, and bipolars, you think you trust your own mind. You trust your own mind, even though you're naked in the street. You still go, I can't trust no doctor. Oh, I can't trust that medication. I can't trust it. Oh, where's the butterflies at swimming around in my soup? Hold up, butterflies, stand right there. You're a goddamn lunatic. You shouldn't trust yourself. But you can trust a man of God, because God sent him to guide you to the medicine.
Right.
Everybody understands.
Come.
Headquarters, you're up. Headquarters, what'd you have?
Yeah, so I was just saying the same thing you were saying, that he went to a man of God. He didn't go on the Joe Rogan podcast and inquire about, the efficacy of this medicine. He obeyed. Salakia.
Give him a hand. The Joe Rogan podcast. You let Joe Rogan be your doctor. And why? And once again, Joe Rogan is doing a good job with the UPK and giving us publicity, and he still should keep doing it. But I'm not going to him for my medical issues. That much is goddamn sure. I'm not going to ask Joe Rogan what I should do if I have COVID-19. Damn, I'm going to ask someone that knows. He doesn't know. He knows how to get a good podcast going and to make a successful podcast. But for my medical issues, I have to seek more qualified opinions. I pray you understand that. Right. All right, you get it. Next.
We got a question from a sister, sir. From Sister Mariam. She wants to know, are children suffering from mental retardation also under a demon, or would that be a curse?
That's a curse. That's different. That's a curse. It's like, being paralyzed or being born with no arms and no legs or being born blind. That's a curse from God in the majority of cases. All right, that's a curse. All right, go ahead.
We got another question from the chat.
Let me just add one caveat if I could. Okay. Even the curses come from demons, right? And they all have to be fought. Even retardation has to be fought. Being paralyzed has to be fought. I've counseled sisters that are paralyzed, right? And it always shocks me. I counseled some sister one time that was in a wheelchair every day. And she was just in the wheelchair, getting high, overdosing on her pain medications, taking it over and over and over again. And so I'm talking to her. And in one talk, she said, well, I can walk a little bit. I said, what? She said she can walk some, but she just doesn't try. She doesn't go to rehab. They try to give her rehab so her legs can get stronger, but she doesn't go. She stopped going to rehab. Come to find out, this woman can walk, but it's going to take hard work for her legs to get stronger. She has joined the demon the same way that everyone with a drug addiction or alcoholism has joined the demon.
Right.
And if you're paralyzed or if you have an ailment, you got to get in there and get in that rehab, man. You got to fight. You got to go in there and fight and fight and fight. And when you have an ailment like that, it can be terrible just to unzipping your pants or to open up a can of soup. But you have to fight. There is nothing, no adversity that can be solved without your willingness to go to war with it. So although this is a curse, it still must be fought. If you have a mental retardation, your parents can either just sit there and let you be retarded, or they can press you. Ray Charles was born blind. And his mother forced him to learn how to get from here to there. Listen, go look up something called echolocation. There are schools that teach blind children who are blind how to make clicks with their mouth and how to echolocate their environment to know how to walk across the street. And it was invented by little black kids, and Hispanic kids who weren't allowed to go to the blind schools, and they didn't want to use the canes because they were embarrassed to use the cane. So they just started making click sounds and echolocating where they were, and go and walk up and down the street making noises and letting the noise bounce back to their ear to see whether or not there's a wall there or whether or not there's a curve there. Look it up. You can find a video of it. Somebody out there learning how to echolocate, somebody getting that goddamn cane, combine the cane with echolocation and get from here to there. You're going to have to fight. Or if you're born blind, you just got to let your mommy walk you around and walk you everywhere you go. Or you're born blind for a greater purpose. One of them is true. Headquarters.
Echolocation, the location of objects by reflected sound in a particular that used by animals such as dolphins and bats.
Do you see this brother here? You see him just make that shot? He made that shot. He's blind. He can't see anything. He put that basketball in that hoop from clicking and making noise like a goddamn bat. He's working. He's not giving up. He's not just laying in the damn bed feeling sorry for himself. He's going to war with blindness. Now think about him when you look at your stupid life. You can't go to war with missing some bitch. You can't go to war with your husband having another wife. Your husband has another wife. You fall out and start cutting your damn wrist. You can't handle anything. Your husband gets another wife. You go and lie and call the cops and lie and say that he beat you. Also, you can quit and fail. Now look at him walking down the steps, playing basketball with echolocation. You're a coward and he is not. Next question.
Next question is from someone online. Shalom, General. Can I get a general breakdown on Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verses 19 through 23?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
This is what Christ was trying to teach in the Bible when he said that, behold, who is my mother, or who is my brother? Behold, but them that do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my mother and my brother. Right? So many people will trust their family simply because they're your blood relatives. But because they're your blood relatives, it doesn't make them moral. Being your blood relative has nothing to do with their morality or their ability to be loyal to you. And that's why precepts like this and Micah, the Micah 7:7 exist. Someone's relationship to you through blood doesn't mean that they are a good person. And that's why scriptures like this are in the Bible. And Christ came along and told us to make a new family. And in this family, the foundation of the family is not how closely related we are by blood, but the foundation is morality, is loyalty, is the ability to be loyal to God and thereby being loyal to your brother. Now, this family can last. This is a family you can trust because this family is built on how we treat one another and how we treat God. But I can't say the same thing about your cousin. I don't know. I know he's your cousin. I know that. I know that means everything to you. I know, hell, he's my cousin, so I'm going to jail for 25 years. Why? Because he's my cousin. I hear you, I hear you. I hear you. In the UPK, now this is how I live my life, but of course, I am very extreme. Very. You can't be in my family without being in the truth. All my sons are in the truth. All my daughters are in the truth. All of my family is in the truth. And anyone who is not in the truth is not my family. Anyone that knows me know that I mean what I'm saying. I mean that. Okay? Someone who is close to you by blood can't be trusted simply because they're close to you by blood. Your mother and your father and your cousins and anyone and your wife that sleeps in your bed will betray you. How do you know? Because they already betrayed God. So it's a small thing to betray you. Next.
There's a question. Okay, verse 20. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any. Verse 21.
I think I just broke that down for you.
Sir, I know Captain Azania in Syracuse had a question, sir.
Go ahead, up.
Salaki, I don't want it. It was just a precept, sir. I think it's Matthew 12 and 50.
That's the one I just quoted. That's excellent, Matthew 12 and 50. I'll move on for time's sake. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right with that. Next.
Anyone have a question in the room?
Someone texted me some type of question.
Counselor, we got a question in headquarters from a young man.
Please, up.
Yes, you stand. The mic. Hit.
Go ahead, Warrior. I'm listening.
Salakia, sir, and the water for taking my questions. I appreciate you. I got a question, sir, from the book of Exodus, chapter 30, starting at verse 23 to 25, dealing with the anointed oil.
Right.
You want me to ask the question?
Please.
All right, there's measurements and ingredients. So I wanted to know, can I personally order these ingredients and try to mess around and get this anointed oil right, just for something personal for myself?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to read it. Yes, you can. There's no law against that. If you want to go ahead and get the oil and make it for yourself, get it on, Warrior. That is not a sin at all.
The water, sir. The water.
No sweat, Warrior. No problem. Next.
We have a question from online, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, may I get a general breakdown of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12.
Somebody asked me another question about, this is from South Carolina, 19 to 23. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Some question from South Carolina, 19 to 23 of some chapter. You got to tell the officer manning the class, all right? All right,
that was the question from before, so I think it had 2 more verses.
Salakia, he wanted 2 more verses than I read?
I think we read up to 20. He wanted it up to 23.
Hold on, let me go back to South Carolina's question. Go ahead, Mashak. Let me see that. Whenever you get it, you can go ahead and read.
So we're going back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 21. For better it is that thy children should seek to thee than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Once again, slow down 1 second. Once again, what happens because your child is related to you by blood, but he is not related to you by morality, by honor, by his commitment to God, then what happens? Your child will leave you because you love God. Because you're with God, your child leaves you. But here's what the Bible is saying. Don't ever betray what you believe in for your family. Do not do it. Don't ever do it. For it's better that thy children should seek you out. Because what happens when you're in the truth? Your child will hate you because you're in the truth. That little bastard, that little bitch you done raised up, she'll grow up, and now because she wants to be some slut, she'll hate you simply because you don't want her to be shamed like a whore all through social media. Can you imagine that, Ashar? Can you imagine a girl hating you because you don't want her to take naked pictures and send them to everybody on Facebook? Because you don't want her to get kidnapped by some man that she brings over to your house. your daughter will actually think you are oppressing her. That you're the problem. You're trying to say don't perform sex acts in school in the bathroom. The girl will go tell child services and to come at you like, you're a Nazi, you're hateful. The girl just wants to have a little sex and you acting all ridiculous about it. Listen, I in my professional opinion, I try that about once or twice. Then that little bitch can go outside and have sex with all of the outside. She can have sex with the man, the woman, and the park bench, and the squirrel in the tree. She will have nothing to do with me anymore. She can do whatever she wants to do. No problem. You know why? Because one day she will seek me out. One day. One day, every child, every cousin, everyone that betrayed you simply because you wanted to serve God, one day they'll walk through the door. One day they'll come to you for help. You want to say something, Ephraim? Go ahead, Ephraim.
Salakia, sir. The same situation happened to me with my daughter and all my kids and my family. When I was Christian, I was doing illegal stuff, modeling, stripping, drug dealer, doing all that stuff. Nobody say that I'm in the cult. Now I'm in the truth. I'm teaching the Bible. I'm following the commandment, and they say that I'm crazy and I am in the cult.
Say that one more time, but in Spanish.
Right. Cuando yo era cristiano y estaba en la iglesia cristiana, yo vendía droga, yo era modelo, yo era stripper, yo hacía muchas cosas malas y a mí mi familia nunca me dijo que yo estaba en una secta. Ahora que estoy en la verdad, ahora que estoy siguiendo los mandamientos, ahora que estoy enseñando la palabra correctamente como es, ahora mi familia me rechaza y me dice que yo estoy en una secta.
Gracias, amigo. Gracias. Absolutely. Listen, that happens to all of us when we come into the truth. All of us. You know what I mean? And that's why Christ, and that's why Christ told us that we form a family with each other, man. No problem. Your family might leave you. Your daughter, the people you love, they might leave you. But I won't. Headquarters won't. Fayetteville won't. South Carolina, Syracuse won't. North Carolina won't. We'll be here because although we're not related to you closely in blood as they are, that we are brothers in the faith. That's your sister in the faith. And brother, that bond is strong. I pray you understand that. So it's better that thy children should seek thee out than that thou should rise. What does that say? Then thou should what? Should stand to their courtesy. Imagine you got a child, but now your child has to be your boss. Now you got to stand to your child's courtesy. F that. I'm not doing that, and I don't suggest any of you do it. All right. So now, because you're in the truth, now you have to stand to your child's courtesy. Now you got to obey your child, even though you're the parent. You pay all the bills. You feed and clothe this bastard. But now what? I have to bow to what they want? If you're the parent, you decide the religion of the child. You decide. The child doesn't decide. You decide. In every other home, the parent chooses the religion. In Afghanistan, the kids are Muslim. In Ireland, the kids are Catholic. Well, in the UPK, the kids are in the UPK. That's it. You don't ask the kid what in the hell they want to be. Did your mother ask you? Did your mother ask you, did you want to get molested by the preacher? She didn't ask you. Did your mother ask you, did you want to get molested by the choir director? She didn't ask you. Nah, in the UPK, the kids got to be in UPK. I don't give a damn what they want. Who cares what they want? You're going to do what your parent says. Now, if this child fights you on it and calls child services and wants to leave, hey, no problem. If the orphanage want to feed you, go and let them feed you. The orphanage might want to feed you. Do they still have orphanages? They need a few. They need more orphanages. So they can put these badass kids that don't want to be in the truth, put them in the orphanage.
So, like, sir.
Go ahead.
Also, the scripture that says the children are their oppressors will be good to
precept, yes, as well. That you can put that with everything. With the children, you gotta, the kid gets to choose whether or not they want to serve God, whether or not they want to be in the truth. The child gets to decide whether or not she wants an abortion. The child gets to choose the damn sex, the sex of himself. Listen, whatever, man. Listen, it's a free country. It's a free country outside of this house. It's a free country.
Right.
Everywhere else is free. This house, however, is medieval. I pray you understand that.
Come on.
Next.
Any questions in the room?
What about the chat house?
So we got another we got another question in the room, sir.
Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. My question is coming from the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, from verse 4 to verse 6. I pretty much get the gist of it. I just wanted to confirm for verse 5 and 6 that he's speaking about chariots, spaceships. Is that
No
true?
problem. Let me hear it, warrior.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, beginning at verse 4. When the when the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning, and the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and a shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime.
Let me stop you to answer your question. You're absolutely correct. This is absolutely speaking about a chariot. The same thing happened. Is this the one in Exodus? The same thing happened in Exodus, right? Where the Lord separated the Israelites with a fire by day. It was a fire burning to stop the Egyptians from overtaking us when we were fleeing through the Red Sea. Right. A fire in the sky, a pillar of fire that went down to the ground, which are the chariots of the Most High God. This is absolutely a precept that's speaking about the chariots of God and Judgment Day, all right here, and the Third World War, which is going to be the biggest defeat in the history of the planet Earth. The armies of God against the armies of men. It's going to be a quick battle, brothers and sisters. Fast. All right. You're correct. Go ahead, warrior. Go ahead.
For verse 6, when it says, and there shall be a tabernacle for day. So when we go outside, it's going to be chariots just sitting there, like protecting us from storms.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, chariots in this after Judgment Day, we get delivered from chariots in the sky. Chariots in the sky, fire in the sky, guiding us, telling us where to go, directing us. Oh, brother, listen, it's whenever I read scriptures like this, you know what? It makes it easier to stop smoking. It makes it easier to give up marijuana. Right. It makes it easier to give up prostitutes because that's my reward. That's what I get for giving up drugs, for giving up murder, for giving up rape, for giving up a prostitution, for giving up homosexuality. That's my reward. And I think it's a good deal. That's what I say. I think it's a good deal. Next question.
Con, sir, I have a question. There's another question in the room from Officer Hazahab.
Hazahab, you up, Benjamin?
Couple of comments. So I was on that, sir. I was trying to see if we could get some scriptures on Christ coming back in World War III, if I could, sir. If we could just review some right quick.
Oh man, okay. Christ coming back. This is a good one right here. Did you want to go into this, or you want to need more?
If you can go over this, sir, some more. Yeah, I mean, Khan. I mean, Khan, sir.
Okay, where you want to start at?
With the whole Ukraine situation and all that, you know what I mean? Everybody sees that, World War III is, hot and ready, you know what I mean? So, Captain Shimon gave a second Esdras 29 and down, sir. 29, 1 and down.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we're in the end times, man. What you're saying is absolutely true, man. And we're just seeing right now in America. America is the greatest and most powerful country in the history of the planet Earth. Far more powerful than Alexander's empire, far more powerful than Julius Caesar's empire. This is the greatest empire ever. Far more powerful than the British Empire at its peak. The British Empire at its peak under Queen Victoria did not have the power of America. America could occupy the planet Earth. There is no country in America on the planet that America cannot send troops to and occupy that country. And even Queen Victoria, back then when they said that the sun never sets on the British Empire, because they had Africa, they had Australia, they had Papua New Guinea, they had everywhere you could see, there was a member of the British Empire. And the sun never set on them. And the British Empire didn't have what America has at all. And in America right now, there are empty shelves at the grocery store. Empty. Empty. Just like it was during the fall of the Soviet Union. Just like it was. Every country on the planet Earth at one time mimicked America. They mimicked America. Germany mimicked America. What did Germany do? Germany went and invaded Poland, invaded Austria. They invaded these lands. Why? To have a United States. Germany couldn't just be Germany. Germany had to invade all of the countries around Germany. Why? Because Germany wanted to rule from sea to shining sea. Germany wanted the continent of Europe. Who else has the continent? Who else had the continent in 1940? Anyone want to know? Well, virtually the continent. North America.
Right.
They wanted to rule the entire thing. That's it. Because America showed the world that you have to be a United States. What's the Soviet Union? What's the Soviet Union? What does it mean, Ashar? Someone look it up. The USSR, a bun.
The United Soviet Socialist Republic.
The what? The what?
United Soviet Socialist Republic.
Look that up.
The what Soviet Republic?
United Socialist Soviet Republic.
Yeah, I wonder where they got the United Soviet Republic from. I wonder where they got that from. I wonder who did that first. The United States of America. Russia decided it couldn't just be Russia. It had to take the Ukraine. It had to take Poland. It had to unify all of the states. Why? Because America did it. And America was the strongest country on earth. Everyone set out to do exactly the same thing as America. A bun.
So not only that, but the so-called Holocaust that everyone canceled Whoopi Goldberg over, Adolf Hitler got that idea from what they were doing to the so-called natives and driving them over by trains, moving them off their land by trains and putting them in effectively concentration camps. And the first concentration camp in modern history was in Cuba, where the Edomites in Cuba perpetrated this against the Mennonites or the natives and so-called blacks of Cuba. So they got that from what they were doing to us.
Give the officer a hand because that's the damn truth. Yeah, I wonder, the Nazis tried to transport Jewish people from where they lived all and to concentrate them into one place. I wonder where they got that from. Ask about the Trail of Tears. Ask about Oklahoma. Ask about the reservation. They got that from America. Everyone was just trying to mimic what America did, because America was so powerful and still is. So they saw that America took all of the so-called North American Indians and put them in one place. So they took all of the so-called Jewish people and took them in one place. How do I know they got the idea from America? Adolf Hitler said so in his book, Mein Kampf. or my struggle. He said it. He said it in his book. All right, you get the point. So what does all that tell you? This great country that every other country has mimicked for 100 years, this great country is falling. And that's why there's no food in the grocery store. That's why crime is rampant. That's why earthquakes and volcanoes that haven't erupted for 100 years are now volatile because Christ is coming back. We're in the last days. Everything you see says it, and you know it already. When you go into that grocery store and you see those empty shelves, you know that's a sign of the apocalypse. You know it when you see it. You're thinking it and you're feeling it. What do we have right here? On my left-hand side, we have the Soviet Union in 1983. On the other side, that's Walmart today. Right there. Empty shelves. That's what happened in the 1980s, right before Russia fell or the Soviet Union fell. They all broke apart. You went into the supermarket, they couldn't eat. Give me the video, Mashak, and then I'm gonna get into the question with Hazahab. But this is your question, Hazahab. What do you have over there? The 1980s Soviet Union. What do you have on the other side? Walmart today. That's what you have. Everyone knew that the Soviet Union was going to fall because the industries fell. They lost the ability to feed their people. And when you lost that, then there was no reason for states to join to Russia. They broke off. They broke off from one another. And that's how countries fall. Countries fall because they dissolve from the inside. The federal government dissolves. The police have no more power. The mayors don't have any more power because they can't feed the people anymore. And the people decide they got to do it for themselves, which means they have no reason to listen to the police or the government anymore. And now everyone broke off from Russia. They left Russia. And the Soviet Union fell. It fell in the 1980s. Well, when you watch this, you know what the future of America is. We're in the last days. Go ahead and play it out.
So, lucky, sir.
Remember hearing about...
I'm sorry. Go ahead out.
So also, I have the names of the 15 nations with the USSR right here if you want it, sir.
Please, go ahead.
So we have Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan.
What are those countries? That is Magog. Gog and Magog. Gog is Russia, and Magog are the countries that are of Russia or the allies of Russia. Right now, Putin is attempting to rejoin the Soviet Union back together. That's why he has tanks sitting on the border of the Ukraine, because the Ukraine is Magog. They are part of Russia or part of the Soviet Union. And now, because everyone is so weak and so poor, and because America is so weak and so poor, Russia knows it's a good time to go to war and bring back the Soviet Union. At the same time, America is falling apart. And if you go to find a chicken in that supermarket, you'll thank the Lord your God that you found it. You go in there and find a goddamn pack of a whole chicken, you'll think the Lord came down and gave you a miracle, because there is no chicken in there. There's no bread in there. There's about 2 boxes of cereal. And what's going to happen soon? Fights in the supermarket over a loaf of bread. Fights. I'll show you what's going to happen, because it happened in Russia. It happened in the end of the Russian Empire, and now you're at the end of the American Empire. Here's the good news. The next empire is the empire of the children of God, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You got it, Most High in Christ. Go ahead and play the video out.
The Russian black market, it always sounded so spy-like, so covert, so underground. Well, here it is at its lowest level. Not so glamorous, is it? kind of like a bad American flea market without Elvis posters.
Can I pause it for a
Pathetic?
second? I want you to remember that. You know what you're going to see, which I know you're already seeing. You're going to see people selling their things on the side of the road everywhere. Little pop-up flea markets everywhere. Garage sales, I think they call them in America, right? You're going to see people just selling everything. I'm talking in good white neighborhoods. You're going to go to a good white neighborhood, and they're going to be selling everything, having garage sales all the time because they're going broke. That's why. And the same thing happened in Russia. Continue.
Yes. Funny? Hardly, because most of these sellers are hawking junk. This man stripped down a TV set hoping to make enough money just to buy milk or bread. It's illegal, but police do nothing.
He's not raising the price to not get as much money as he can.
Svetlana Loganov and her 2 kids will slide right past the black market. She's not interested in cigarettes or shoes today, but rather in getting enough food for dinner. It is the toughest job in Moscow these days. Before price controls were lifted in January, she and her husband Vadim were making it. But prices this trip to the market have doubled in some cases. By the time she comes back at the end of the week, they could quadruple.
She gets to the market. She gets to the market and the prices double. Let me explain to you what that is. That is inflation. Inflation. When now the price of goods doubles. Doubles. Why? Because the goods, the commodities become too hard to get. The gasoline prices go up. The commodities are hard to get to the market. So now inflation begins to inflate the price of everything. And inflation, most blacks and Hispanics don't know about it, but it is a terrible, terrible killer. Because now the chicken is right there, or the loaf of bread is right there, but now the loaf of bread is $15. That same loaf of bread that was $5, it's $15. So it's there, but the price has went up because the price has went up at the top. So now the dollar goes down in value. When the American dollar goes down in value, then it costs more dollars to get gasoline. And if it costs more dollars to get gasoline, then it costs more money to get the goods to the store. And now the price goes up every time the value of the dollar goes down. And that price is going to land right in your kitchen, right in your car, right on your dinner table. So now everything is more expensive, everything. And that happened during the fall of the Soviet Union, when the Soviet Union were in their end times, their last days. And this has happened already in smaller countries, in Trinidad and other countries like that. They've been going through it before this. But now the superpower is going through it. And once it happens here, then no country can stand, because every country is surviving off of American hospitality, off of the worship of America and the merchandise of America. So once America falls, everyone else who lives off America has to fall. This is the fall of the Soviet Union. In the 80s, this is the same thing that's happening today in America. Go ahead and play it.
She's necessarily picky, turning down apples that are too expensive, settling for a couple of lemons, which have increased in the past day, but haven't doubled. She spends 55 rubles for vegetables that will last just 2 days, and sets off to buy milk for the children, expecting to find a line. The problem for shoppers here these days isn't the long lines. Russians are used to waiting in line. Their concern is what happens when they reach the end of that line. There, they'll find either bread or milk 3 or 4 times higher than they were just weeks ago, or worse, no food at all. That's the case when Svetlana arrives at the milk store. There is a crowd, but nothing to buy, which leads to shouting matches. This pensioner says employees are hoarding the food, not selling it to customers.
Some sugar was brought to this store, to this store. That's why people came here in order to buy this product. But there was no any sugar, and the person who was working here told them that there was no sugar anymore.
Stop right there. That's what Commanding General YAHANNA. Commanding General YAHANNA already prophesied this. What's going to start to happen? Stealing. My God, everybody's stealing. They're going to be stealing them COVID-19, what's some things called? Injections. The vaccines, they're going to steal everything, steal the sugar, steal the chicken, and sell it. Before you know it, the mafia and every other criminal organization, you're going to have to go to them to get chicken and hamburger meat and bread because they're going to steal all of it. That happened also in Russia. Go ahead,
That's exactly what's happening here in New York. There's been an increase in the crime wave of shoplifting and snatching and grabbing.
Oh, my God. Forget everybody knows that. And in California, when they steal all those things out of those stores, this is what's going to happen. The store is going to shut down. The store can't exist if everything is getting run out the door. And the store can't afford the lawsuits from hiring a security guard to beat the hell out of shoplifters. And so what's going to happen? The store is going to shut down, and you're going to have to buy your hamburger and buy your things from the shoplifter. You're going to have to buy it from him. Continue.
Debate. The milk store manager wants us gone. Others ask us to shoot everything. They too think employees are stealing. There's word that milk may be coming later in the day, so customers police themselves, writing numbers on their hands rather than lining up again. They've been shut out twice already this morning on milk and sugar, but somehow remain confident enough to come back. Svetlana stays on the sidelines. She says she remains calm because she has enough powdered milk to last a few weeks. After that, scenes like this will make her nervous. Each week, she spends up to 400 rubles on food. Her husband brings home 12 to 1,500 rubles a month, a little less than $15.
So most of his salary goes to food. И, так сказать, большинство его зарплаты, большая часть зарплаты уходит на то, что на продовольствие. Yes, sure.
All of his money and most of her time go to feeding the family. She's been shopping for 90 minutes and has little to show for it, just a few pieces of fruit. She's off to buy bread, expecting more of the same.
She thinks that she won't be able to buy anything today. The situation is like this on every store.
Svetlana, like many Russians, is taking her first steps in a market economy, learning about the lessons of supply and demand. The first rule in Russia, the demand is high, the supply is not.
So like you, sir.
Stop. What is America having? A supply chain problem. And when a supply chain problem happens, the demand goes up, and then the prices of the food go up, and then you fall like the Soviet Union fell. You fall. This is just one prophecy being fulfilled. This is just one. This is one of the riders of the 4 horsemen in the Bible. This is in the Bible. This is biblical prophecy. Famine. This is biblical prophecy, and Commanding General YAHANNA has been saying it since he was 17 years old. Saying the same thing. Biblical prophecy, one of the signs of the coming of Christ, of the apocalypse. It's happening. It's happening. If I was you, I would wake up. I would awaken out of your sleep. Now is it time to stop smoking weed? Is it time now? Are we there yet where it's finally time to stop buying whores? Are we there yet? No problem. You need more signs. More are coming. There are more signs coming for you. Me, myself, I made my decision a long time ago. You might need something else to happen to you. South Carolina.
Hey, Salaki Adawan, is it a reason why they call it the black market? You know what I'm saying? Like when they're in poverty or feeling like they need something, is it a reason why they call it Black Friday or Black Market? And every other day is just a regular market or a Friday.
Well, because in Old English, black means terrible and dirty and awful, which is why, although your skin is brown, you're called black. You're not called, like most people think, they think it backwards. They think that they call it black market because they're trying to say that black people are evil. It's the opposite. The term black in Old English already meant evil, and that's why they called you black. They named you black. If they named you what you look like, they would call you brown, right? They would say you're brown because right here, South Carolina, your jacket is black, right? Your garment is black, and your face is brown. The warrior next to you, his garment is black, his face is brown. So why is he called black? Because black means dirty, disgusting, criminal, and evil. The word black is not about our complexion. That's not what it's talking about. It's about your condition. You understand?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead,
I don't know what.
If I could stop you right there, one more thing, and in saying that, that should also solve this problem. All of the 12 tribes are black. All of them, every last one of them. The Mexicans are black. The Puerto Ricans are black. The Guatemalans, the Dominicans, the North American Indians, they're all black because they're all in a terrible condition. Terrible. Everybody understands.
Sir, if I may, sir. I don't know why them Russians were complaining when that woman was walking away. I saw 4 healthy pigeons right there on the left-hand corner.
Listen, she better see him. I will. I'll notice them pigeons. Please believe that.
Right there on the left.
Listen, I'll notice them pigeons. I'll also notice anybody out there that's stockpiling food and not sharing it. Shalom.
Right.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Sir, I got a question that was sent on Club Deck.
Go ahead.
The question is, can you train or build your spiritual eye or ability to see spiritual things? And is it an important skill for a priest to have? How can you train it to be better?
Okay, you want to there's no such thing as a spiritual eye. That's Egyptology, and that doesn't exist. I got 2 eyes and they work just fine. All you need is 2 eyes. You don't need a whole another eye, right? But this is what you can do, right? What you can do is you can be less carnal, less lustful. What you can, more than working on your spiritual eye, what you should work on is not being such a lustful bastard. That you can do. So if you want to be able to examine things on a spiritual level, then you have to look at what is getting in the way of me seeing things in a spiritual level. Let me give you an example. I want a woman, right? And I want to pick, I don't want to be put on child support. I don't want a woman that's going to lie and tell the police that I hit her when I didn't. I don't want a woman that's going to turn my children against me. I don't want a woman that's going to commit adultery on me. What I'm going to have to do is not get a woman because I only care about how big her butt is or how big her breasts are or whether or not I can have sex with her quickly, because that is how you choose most of your women. Or the real reason you really choose your women is usually some sickness you develop from your mother. That's the actual real reason that most of you pick a woman. You got some problem from your mom. A lot of you, it's a sickness or an illness. You wanted your mother, you're looking for a mother. And now when you meet a whore, you try to fix a whore because you didn't get enough love from your mom. is going to be some type of terrible thing in your mind that you develop from childhood, or it's based on child molestation or something that you've been through in your childhood. Well, you're going to have to fight your desire to pick a woman for carnal reasons to be able to pick a woman for spiritual reasons. All right. So what you want to think about more, Soak, is fighting your flesh. Now we can go into the Bible. Now, when you get rid of all the Egyptology and the third and fifth eyes, now we can get into the flesh fighting scriptures. The Bible talks a lot about fighting your flesh. Fighting it and fighting your flesh will allow you to be able to see what your spirit is showing you, but your spirit and your flesh fight each other. And you're gonna have to decide to ignore your flesh and to do what's right. If you're smoking weed, then how in the hell can you make a righteous decision? You're high. You're impaired. Your decision-making ability is impaired. Smoking weed is not spiritual. Smoking weed is carnal. It's your flesh. Your flesh wants the weed. Your flesh. Your brain has a pleasure sensor that is activated when that smoke hits your brain. Your brain is flesh. Your brain is not spiritual. Your brain is an organ. And that organ has sensors and senses, and that marijuana hits a pleasure sensor in your brain, and you're addicted to it, and you have to have it. It's not spiritual. It's science. It's medical. It's your brain, your physical brain needs the drug because you've addicted yourself to it. And now what do you want to do? Understand spiritual matters? You're an addict. Get off of drugs, stop smoking weed, fight alcoholism, and you're going to be able to decide spiritual issues and see spiritual things that you really can't see now, because all you know is what you want to stick your penis in and what makes your stomach happy and what makes your brain euphoric. You see, your brain is not spiritual. This is physical. This is not spiritual. Our body produces dopamine having pleasure activities. Drugs short circuit this natural cycle by making the brain release dopamine. The brain shuts down some dopamine receptors. The person need more drugs to get the same effect. That's why you can't smoke enough weed, because the more weed you smoke, the weed will stop working. And then you'll need more and more and more. And then you will need fentanyl in your weed to even get high. That's why Snoop Dogg smokes weed all day. And Wiz Khalifa, they're not smoking weed all day because they're the most fun people to be around. They're smoking weed all day because the weed stops working. It doesn't work anymore. They need more of it. Stronger and stronger and stronger, because it's not spiritual. It's physical from your brain, which is physical, which is a physical organ. You're a drug addict. Next question. Levi.
We got a question in the room.
Let me get Levi. Go.
If I may, sir, will this be a precept for what you just said, other one? Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
What does it mean when it says the light of the body is the eye? What does that mean? What is your eye? What eye is it talking about? Quickly, y'all gotta move on.
About your mind, sir.
Your mind. That's correct. Your mind, meaning what you think about, what you want. You want drugs. How in the hell can you want anything else? You can't want God. You can't want the kingdom of heaven. You can't want a good community. You can't want brotherhood. You need drugs. You want money. So you can't want brotherhood, togetherness, loyalty, because the lust for money will get in between that. Your eye is single. Your mind is single. Once it lusts over money and drugs and pleasures, you won't want anything else as much as you want those things. You better go ahead and fight it. Next question.
Sir, I have a question. A question that was texted to me, sir. This was from a student last week in one of the classrooms. This is on Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 7 through 8. The question is referring to whether it's only talking about the children begotten of them. Is it only from heathen women? And if the scripture can be pulled up, Baba Kasha?
Go ahead and read it. This scripture is not only talking heathen women, it's all kinds of sinners. Adulterers, if you have a child, if the mother was a whore, she's sleeping with another man, you were an adulterer, you were sleeping with her even though she had a man, that child cannot come into the nation for 10 generations. The children of evil men. So it is not only talking about women who are of another nation, but it is talking about women of another nation. And it's also talking about children who had wicked, evil parents who broke the law. You're out. You can't come in the nation of Israel. That's what this scripture is talking about. No one will accept you. You will be ostracized. You can't come to the temple. You can't come into the Sabbath service. You can't be accepted. No one can talk to you. No one can be with you. No one can marry your children. You can't marry anyone else's children. You're out. That's what this scripture is talking about. Go ahead and read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7.
Someone else give me, though thy sins be red as scarlet. Give me that. Though thy sins be red as scarlet, yet shall they be white as snow. Go ahead and read.
Concert. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land.
I'm assuming I don't need to break that down. If I do, you got to tell me, all right? Okay, the white man, our oppressor is the devil. The Egyptians have committed great crimes against us.
Right.
Our displeasure with them has nothing to do with race. It's about their crime, the crime they committed against us. The Israelite school of UPK, we are not racist. We are not, but our oppressor is. Right. Our oppressor is racist. He is racist, but we're not racist. What we do is that we stand up for the victims who've been afflicted. We stand up for the afflicted. We stand up for the victims of racism. But how in the hell are we racist at all? But our oppressor is. He is. And because we speak about it, they call us racist. Because we talk about slavery, we're the racist ones. Wouldn't the slave master be the racist one? Wouldn't he be the racist one? How in the hell are we racist for saying that we were enslaved because of our race? We are not racist, but our enemies are. Officer Abun.
Salaki, sir, and how can Whoopi Goldberg be racist for saying that what happened in the Holocaust wasn't about race? Like they tell us, it's not about race. It's not about race. It had nothing to do with race. Slavery is over. But she said that and was suspended from the View for saying what's true. Like Oxford scientists have come out and said that the so-called Jewish man is in no way linked to the nation of Israel. He's linked to Khazaria. It's been proven several times as an academic research. So that's insane. Salaki.
Someone pull up that form that they have when they ask you what your race is and see if it's Jewish on there, or see if it just says, are you white, black, or Asian? Okay, Jewish people are white. They're white. Adolf Hitler was wrong. Adolf Hitler believed that Jewish people were an inferior race, meaning ethnicity, meaning that their bloodline was inferior because they were Jewish. He was wrong. Jewish people are not an inferior race from Germans. They're the same race as Germans. Right. They're exactly the same people. Now read this for me real fast. Where are my Jewish friends out listening tonight, taping everything to send it to the FBI? Oh, speaking of that, shout out who was the officer down there in Minnesota? Officer what's his name? The camp leader. Could give Quadash Zion. Yep. The FBI came down to Quadash Zion's job. You camp leaders, you remember that when you decided to be a camp leader. The FBI came to Quadash Zion's job to ask him about a Facebook post that another brother wrote 4 years ago in a whole nother city, a whole different city. Some brother made a joke. And what happened? The FBI came to his place of employment to ask him a question. And you know what he did? Answered them. That's what he did. Answered the questions, broke everything down. The FBI, they don't know. They got all these white people storming the Capitol. They don't know what to do. They got so many problems. They don't know who in the hell we are, what we up to. And of course, they're terrified by some joke that was made in a whole nother state 4 years ago. They got to come ask Quadash Zion about it because America is falling. America is falling. They came to Quadash Zion's job. He went down there, met with him again, talked to him, told him, listen, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about with us. We don't commit crimes. We don't go into stores and steal everything out of the store. We don't shoot people. We don't stab people. We don't harm anyone. But what we will do is change the lives of blacks and Hispanics so that Christ can fight our battles for us. That we're going to do. And here's the good news. That is not illegal. Come to find out, it's not illegal to stop smoking cigarettes. Do you know that? It is not illegal to stop shooting people and to not kill people and to not sell drugs. It is not illegal to not smoke weed. It's not illegal to not buy whores on the internet. Come to find out, that's not a crime at all. So Quadash just told the FBI all of that, and they can move on and talk to somebody else. Because while they're looking at us, Donald Trump's people are about to kill Democrats and kill the vice president and storm the White House again. Donald Trump's people are going to do it again. Everybody understands. Shout out to Ashar. Ashar, the FBI came to your house too, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Ashar. They came to his house. Listen, everybody better understand, brother. These are not like men in the UPK. They're not like you. We're not like you. What do you think we are? Some fake Israelite group sitting there with tassels on the end of a t-shirt, as harmless as little bunnies? That's not who we are. That is not this camp. And I pray you understand that.
That's right.
And this story in Russia is so important. And what did Commanding General YAHANNA say years ago? That's why we're stockpiling food. If you're able to stockpile some food, you better get out there and stockpile some. That's what Commanding General YAHANNA said. I think it was 3 years ago. And brothers and sisters, shout out to the Dallas camp. Captain Yashamar out there in Dallas, man, in the Fort Worth area. They bought a farm, 75-acre farm. They out there struggling and fighting with the earth to feed our nation. And also Kahantham Yad out there in that Louisiana, in that area, they're out there fighting the earth to give forth fruit and food so this nation can have something, man. And a lot of you brothers and sisters in the world, if you have food, you better donate your food to the UPK. If you have a farm, donate your farm to the UPK. Do it. You're thinking about doing it, and you better go ahead and pull the trigger. You better do it, because in doing it, you're going to save your farm, save your life, and perform God's will. Keep going. Next.
If I may, sir, and by doing that, the Lord just might spare you of demons.
That's what I mean. Thank you. That's what I mean. If you don't want all of the terrible demons that swim around in your mind, and your family breaks up because one of you is scared of the other one, you better get God's protectors over there, man. These officers in the UPK, these priests are sent by God to protect you. You better donate that farm. You better hand the deed of the farm over to Commanding General YAHANNA. You better hand it over so we can grow food for this nation, help you, help your family, help your farm, help your mind. You understand?
Come on.
All right, next.
So I have another question. From a person that was in class last week.
What did he say about Whoopi? Maybe we should go into the Whoopi Goldberg. Is it time yet?
The time is 8:51, sir.
All right, last one. Let's go into the Whoopi Goldberg and the Flores. All right.
Sir.
I think I damn near did it. Unless you want to go to precepts. All right, go ahead.
Do you want the question that I have, sir?
1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me answer this right here.
Sir.
All right, go ahead.
So this question was from last week from another student in the class. They wanted to know Abraham's concubine and Solomon's concubine. What were the difference?
They were all Israelites. That's what you need to know before you go out and have sex with a white woman and call her a concubine. They were all Israelites. Every concubine in the Bible is an Israelite. Every last one of them. Solomon's concubines, Moses' concubines, all of them. A concubine is a class, not a race. It's a class. And that to understand it, just simply understand that. It's separating these women based on class. One woman is a woman of your ally. You went to her father, you paid a dowry, and you received the wife. The other woman is a woman of a fallen family who is your enemy. And you've taken her as the spoil of war. And because of that, she is in a lower class than your wife. Your wife is up here. She's down here. It's a class system. Europe set up their society based on the class system set up in the Bible. That would have certain people who were bond and other people who were free. Both of them are Israelites, but they're in a separate class. France, England, Spain, they were all towards after the Renaissance, they were all white people, but they were in a different class. They got that from the Bible. A concubine is a lower class than a wife, and that's the answer. All right. Next.
Anyone in different cities got a question?
Hold on. All right, go ahead. Next. Any other questions? What about the chat house?
I'm checking right now.
Anybody in the room? All right, let's get into the Whoopi Goldberg. I'll give you 10 seconds.
There are some questions in the chat room here, so I don't know if you want it or you want the Whoopi Goldberg.
Go ahead, quickly. Give me one or two, and I gotta go to Whoopi Goldberg. And Brian, forget the pictures together. We'll put them up on the screen. That'll say everything. And give me the rich men, Lazarus precept. I think that's the one you need. We'll get the Lazarus one to break down Whoopi Goldberg and Brian Flores. I know a lot of you out there are crying over what's his name? Brian Flores not getting that coaching job. I know it's a travesty like unto the cops killing black men. I know you don't know what to do about it. I know it's hurting your heart. I know Whoopi Goldberg got suspended. I know you cried all day over Whoopi. I understand. I'm going to help you with that in a second, all right?
Sure.
Come on, Mashak.
This question here is from Captain Quanwall out in California.
Mm-hmm.
He would like a breakdown, sir, on 2nd Esdras, chapter 4, verses 45 through 50. And it's a two-part question. He's saying he thinks that it appears to be very arrogant when responding to the. He says Esdras appears to be very arrogant when responding to the angel. Would that be a good assumption of the spirit of Grimm before being humbled? And the second part is just getting clarity on the metaphors that are being used in those verses.
Okay, I think I can answer it for you quickly. What a better word to use for the spirit on Esdras, his personality when he's asking these questions, is impatient. He's impatient. He's frustrated because he's impatient. And so when he's asking the angel these questions, the arrogance that you're perceiving is because he has lost patience. And maintaining your patience, brother, is how you maintain your soul. With patience, possess thee thy soul. You need it. You need to do it. Ezra forgot this. Whosoever leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Whosoever killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. All of us are waiting for judgment. We're foregoing our judgment today. We're not getting judgment. We're suffering something that is really inhuman. That's what Martin Luther King said. Martin Luther King said that justice delayed is justice denied. That's what he said. He knew it was inhuman to make someone wait for justice. But yet the Israelite school of UPK, we have decided to wait for our justice that is delayed. We wait. We work on ourselves. We build our bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood. We spread this word all throughout the planet Earth, and we wait for justice. We wait for judgment because we know he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. We know we'll receive it. We don't have to get it today. We don't have to get it tomorrow. You understand? Ezra, he lost patience, and the arrogance you perceive is that he wanted to know when is it going to happen? When is our punishment going to end? When are these people who have ever been reputed to be nothing going to stop being lords over us? When? The angel is trying to tell him. The clock has the clock has 12 parts. 10 parts are already passed. We're close to the end. The angel is being patient with him because the angel understands his frustration. He understands it. He's giving him a pass because he knows that this prophet of God is grown frustrated, and sometimes prophets of God can get frustrated, but you're still going to have to wait, frustrated or not. I know you understand. Next.
We have another question from the sister, sir. It's a two-part question pertaining to intimacy. She wants to know, how long after your flower has ended should you wait to be intimate? And is oral sex an act of sodomy?
No, oral sex is not unlawful in the Bible. That's a preference or a choice based on the couple. But you have to have intimacy or to have sex, you got to wait 7 days. All right, you can't have sex while she's unclean, because if the blood gets on you from the woman, then you can't come to class. You're unclean. So what you have to do is to wait the 7 days, which is honorable and just and should not be a big deal. All right. So after 7 days, you can have sex freely as two grown people can have. And oral sex, there is no law against oral sex. It's called sodomy in some old American laws which outlawed it, because the Puritan Christians in America who don't understand the Bible began to say that Sodom and Gomorrah were women and men having anal sex, women and men having oral sex, meaning any sex that couldn't cause a pregnancy, they called sodomy. So if you had sex with a woman in any way that could not make a baby, then they called it unlawful, and they called it sodomy. Oral sex is not even sex at all. It's not sex with a woman. You can classify it as foreplay. It absolutely is intimate. But once you do it, no one wants her except for you. That's it. Once you do that to a woman, she's yours. Is it sex? No. Can it make a baby? No. Have you humbled her? Yes. You have humbled her. Have you seen her nakedness? Yes. You have seen her nakedness, which means she has no value to anyone at all on the planet except for you. And that's that. But it is not unlawful. All right, to do it, with your wife and not another man's wife. Sodom and Gomorrah is about homosexuality. That's what sodomy. Let me finish it up for you. This is how you know when you've committed sodomy. When you've had sex with someone of the same race. If you kiss a man and you're a man, that's sodomy. If you just kiss him, that's it. If you go and give another man some sugar, you're a sodomite. That's sodomy. If two women kiss each other, that's sodomy. And it's not done down, in your pants. It's a kiss on the lips. That's sexual. That's about love making. That's sodomy. We're about to celebrate what's that thing called with the love in the hearts? Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a holiday of sodomy, of lustful sex, unlawful sex, which used to be called making love or amore or eros. It used to be called love, but it's sex, is what you would call today sex. It's a celebration of sex, which is what Valentine's Day is. All right, next.
This is from a brother, sir. He said in Amos 9 and 12, what is the breakdown on the heathens called by the Lord's name that we will possess?
All right, go ahead and read it. Read above this one. This one is jogging my memory a little taste. Amos, let me see it up on the screen. There's one part I think in here I always try to break down with Amos 9. Let me check it out.
Amos chapter 9, verse 11.
In the day, probably, hold on one second there. It's falling. Okay, scroll up a taste. Oh, no, down. I'm sorry, the other way, Warrior. Okay.
If I may, so I believe you were looking at verse 9.
9, let me see 9. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let me just answer the question. 9 is definitely the one I always break down. Skip down so I can answer the question so I can move on, just for time's sake, all right? All right, this is the question right here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and
Amos.
wait, I'm gonna skip, go back, go to 15.
Amos chapter 9, verse 15.
Right, go up to 14. There you go. All right, go up to the question.
So he wants to know the breakdown on the what is the breakdown on the heathens called by the Lord's name that we will possess?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead and read it.
Amos, yes, sir. Amos chapter 9, verse 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name.
The remnant of who?
Edom.
Edom. Who are we talking about? Who are the Edomites? The Edomites are our oppressors. The oppressor of the planet of Earth. They're the Edomites. And right after Edom, it said, and what else?
It says, and of all the heathen.
Keep going.
Which are called by my name.
What are the remnants of Edom? And all the heathens which are called by my name. This is the judgment for the people that have stolen the identity of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. These nations have stolen your identity. But the Most High God is telling us, just wait, because they're going to pay for that. There is a person calling himself an Israelite. There is another person calling himself the followers of Abraham, the followers of Moses. There are people calling themselves the saints of the Bible. The Most High God is saying that we're going to take all of those people, the remnant of Edom, and every race that is called by my name, meaning they're calling themselves the Israelites. They're calling themselves the saints. They're calling themselves the children of God. Whoopi Goldberg got in big trouble for that this week. Why? Because there are people calling themselves Jews who are not Jews. They're white people, the same race as the Germans. They're the exact same race as the Germans and the British and the French. They're the same race, the Ashkenazi, or what the Bible calls Amalek. They're the same race. Ask Helen, what's her name? What's her name, the White House representative?
Helen Thomas?
Helen Thomas, sir.
Go ask Helen Thomas. Helen Thomas is an Arab woman, and she told her.
Like that. I didn't know if you slug it, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and ask Helen. Put Helen up on the screen. Let's see what Helen says about this. Helen is talking about the people who call themselves by the name of God, but they're not the children of God. Blacks and Hispanics, so-called blacks, Hispanics, indigenous people, you are the children of God, but no one believes you because they believe someone else is a child of God. Someone else is an Israelite. Someone else is a Jew. They don't believe the North American Indians are Israelites. They don't believe that the Puerto Ricans are Israelites. They don't believe that the Guatemalans, the Colombians are Israelites. Why? Because they believe this other guy is an Israelite. Why? Because he says so. Whoopi Goldberg is an excellent example of how they have pushed this lie. They pushed this lie because if you dare to tell the truth, you lose your job. You lose your job if you say the obvious truth, and that's that Jewish people are white. Jewish people are white. Why is that controversial? It's not even racist. It is not racist to call Jewish people right. It was racist when Adolf Hitler said they were an inferior race. That is racist. But if I say they're not inferior, they're equal. Jewish people are equal to Germans, equal to French, equal to every other white person because Jewish people are white. That is not racist. It's true. Saying that you're equal to somebody can't be racist. How in the hell is that racist to say Jewish people are equal to Germans when Adolf Hitler thought they were inferior to Germans? We're saying in the I.S.U.P.K. that Hitler was wrong. Jewish people are not an inferior race to the Germans. Jewish people are the same race as the Germans. That is not racist. That is true. Equality can't be racist. No one is superior. They're equal. Let's ask Helen. Go ahead. What did she say? This woman was a White House. This was a White House correspondent, reporter, I think for 40 damn years. Someone look up. I believe it was 40 years. 40 years she was sitting there, Helen Thomas, White House press corps. She asked JFK questions. She asked Lyndon Johnson questions. She asked Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan questions. She asked all of them, all the Bushes, both Bushes. She asked questions. Then one day she said this when they asked her a question. Go ahead and play it. I can't hear it. I can't hear it, Warrior.
It's on Israel. We're asking any comments on Israel. We're asking everybody today. Any comments
Tell them
on
to
Israel?
get the hell out of Palestine.
Ooh.
To get the hell out of.
We're asking everybody today. Any comments
Tell them
on
to
Israel?
get the hell out of Palestine.
Ooh. Any better comments?
Remember, these people are occupied, and it's their land. It's not German. It's not Poland.
So where should they go? What should they do?
They go home.
Where's the home?
Poland.
So the Jews,
Germany.
The Jews go back to Poland and Germany.
And America and everywhere else.
Yeah, that's what she said, because the Jewish people that live in the land of Israel are from America. They came over there in the 40s. They're from Brooklyn. And they went and left Brooklyn. They left Brooklyn and went to Israel to set up a country. They're from Russia. They're from Germany. They left their countries and came to the land of Israel. Now, Jewish people don't want you to say this because then it means the land isn't theirs. The only right that Jewish people have to the land of Israel is the lie that they are the biblical Jews. But if they're not the biblical Jews, then they're just people from Brooklyn, Russia, and Germany that went to live in Israel and said the land is theirs. They're occupying that land, which is why this woman, after she said this, she got fired. She got fired for saying this. And Whoopi Goldberg got fired for saying Jewish people are white. I mean, she got suspended, and they called it racist because she's saying they're equal to white people. That I'll never understand. I do know why they're doing it, because if Jewish people are white, then they have no claim to the land of Israel, because the land of Israel is not for white people. The land of Israel is for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Everybody understand? So now let's go back to Amos 9. Go back to it. Come on, I gotta wrap it. Behold, go ahead, come on.
Amos chapter 9, verse 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord.
The real Israelites are going to put the false Israelites in chains and in captivity.
Right.
The real saints are going to put the false saints in chains and in captivity. The real children of God are going to put the false children of God in chains and in captivity. And this is about race, because Edom is a race of people. So this is not talking about, what you believe. This is talking about what seed you come from, the people you come from, because Edom is a people, not a religion. Keep going.
Verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper.
I think that's it. I think I broke it down for him. All right. You got that. All right. Let's go to what do we need to break down now? So, okay, cross the line. Might have to finish this up. Okay, you got it. Cross the line. You understand where to go from here, right? The whole Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, let's see. Let me see Brian Flores here. And could somebody look up Brian Flores's net worth? What does he make a year, Brian Flores? Everybody is, this is a terrible thing the NFL has done. And it is terrible. Let me tell you something, man. The Israelite School of UPK, here's our official stance. Black people should receive every opportunity that white people receive on this planet. We should. Black people believe in equal opportunity. We believe that you should not be fired from a job because of the color of your skin, and you should not be denied employment because of the color of your skin. We believe in equal opportunity, equal pay, and equal justice. We believe that in the UPK. Here's the problem. Brian Flores does not believe in that. He doesn't believe in that, because when there came a time for him to choose a legal wife, he chose a white woman. This woman is not Hispanic. I looked her up. It says ethnicity, white. Even that's in her bio, Zion. I said, damn. The bio said Brian Flores' wife, ethnicity, white. The same as Jewish people. That's what Brian Flores' wife's ethnicity is. Brian Flores does not believe in giving Black women, Hispanic women, an equal opportunity to have half of his money. This white woman you're looking at right now, she's going to leave him. And when she leaves him, she is going to get half of his money. Remember, marriage in America is not biblical. It's a legal document. Any woman you sign that legal document to has the right to half of your money. Do you know how rich Tiger Woods made his wife? How rich he made her? Do you know how rich Dr. Dre's wife got because she married Dr. Dre legally? Marriage is a financial agreement. It's financial. And when you go and give half of your money to a white woman, you deny that opportunity to a black or Hispanic woman. This brother is from Brooklyn, from the projects of Brooklyn. He made his money, got successful, and he denied that financial opportunity to a black woman. If you're going to marry someone and get a legal document and let her take half your money, let a black woman take half your money. Let a Hispanic woman strip you of every damn penny you have. Why would you give that much money to a white woman knowing that black and Hispanic women are suffering in the projects of Brooklyn? How much money does he make? Who can tell me? What does he make a year?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Net worth is $5 million, sir.
$5 million. Do you know when he married her, he gave her $250,000. He gave her $2,500,000. $2 million. And that's a year. Now, how long have they been married? Tell me how many years they've been married, please.
And she's ugly.
Yeah, she's a terrible old Irish. I mean, Salakia, you know. Go ahead.
No, like we always end up getting the ugly chick. Like.
Oh, that's all. Listen, she ugly to white people, but she ain't ugly to us because we're the inferior race. You understand, Asher? We're the inferior race, so she's beautiful to us. How many years have they been married? I need it fast.
They've been married since 2009.
How many years is that? Now multiply that with $5 million a year.
I'll be
About 12
13 years, sir.
12, 13 years.
Jesus Christ. He signed, her job is being married to him. And so right now she's getting $12 million a year because she's sharing all of the money. But when she divorces him, and according to the statistics, 65 to 75% of all legal marriages will end in divorce. He's going to have to give this woman how much money, Shar?
$2.5 million.
No. For the 6 years of marriage. She gets $2 million a year. He's going to have to give this woman, I think, $12 million out. And that's if they got divorced today. But what if they get divorced 5 years from now? How long was Dr. Dre? How much money did Dr. Dre have to pay his wife? Fast.
$100 million, sir.
$100 million. That's a very, very lucrative job, being married to Dr. Dre. Why didn't Dr. Dre give that job to a black woman? Why didn't he give that job to an Hispanic woman? That's a very lucrative job, being married to Brian Flores. The woman right now, what's 2.5 times 6? 2 times 12. She's going to get $13 million if she divorced him tonight. 13. Oh, I didn't count child support. Did I tell you that? I didn't count that. That's 2 kids. She's going to probably get 65% of his money if they got divorced today. That's a very lucrative job that Brian Flores didn't give to a brother or a sister. I mean, he didn't give to another sister. He didn't do that. But yet we're all supposed to go fight for him when he doesn't hire us. Let me see his lawyer. But he has a lawsuit. He has a lawsuit. He's suing them. Let me see his lawyers real fast, if you don't mind. If you don't mind.
Judge Brian Flores is speaking out today after filing a class action lawsuit against the NFL.
He's alleging discrimination against him and other black coaches. CBS 2's Steve Overmeyer in the newsroom with more on Flores' exclusive
direction, and we're either going to keep it the way it is.
Can you freeze the screen when you got his lawyers up on the screen? Okay, here we go. This is CBS This Morning. I'm going to start from my right. That's Nate Burleson with the glasses. That's a former football player. That's Gail. She looking good today. That Gail, she having a good day on there today. Salakia. That's Gail there. Generally, I don't like her, but sometimes she. Anyway, you got Gail. And the other Edomite next to him, that's another reporter. Now, you see those 2 men right there? Those are both Brian Flores's attorneys. Damn, Brian Flores. Maybe all of the brothers and sisters fighting in law school, fighting with $200,000 of student loans. That's to become a lawyer. It's at least going to be $100,000 in student loans to become a lawyer. Maybe some of the poor blacks and Hispanics living on reservations, living in the barrios, fighting to get to law school, struggling with no parents, trying to get to law school. Why didn't you give them the opportunity to be your lawyer? Maybe Commanding General YAHANNA should force you to hire black people as your lawyers. Maybe that's what General YAHANNA should do. Maybe if you can force white men to hire you, maybe Commanding General YAHANNA should force you to marry a black woman, and when you divorce her, she'll get half your money. Maybe General YAHANNA should force you to hire a Hispanic lawyer. Maybe he should force you. Do you see what this man does when it's his turn to give someone a job, to give someone half his money? He'll never choose you. He'll never choose you. But you are supposed to fight for him to get what? $10 more million? Do you understand if Brian Flores gets another head coaching job, all you're doing is getting more money for his white wife. That's all you're doing. That's it. And if he wins this court case, his white lawyers are going to get 33% of that money. Brian Flores doesn't hire black people. Why should I care if someone hires him? He doesn't give black people money. He doesn't give Hispanics money. Then why should I care if someone gives him any money? Let's go to Whoopi Goldberg, because Whoopi Goldberg, what she said was true. She told the truth. That's what happens. But you know what happens when you tell the truth in America? You get fired. That's what happens, right? They fired Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick didn't get to keep his job. Look up, what's his name? Jake Flood, Pete Flood. What's his name? His last name is Flood. He was a baseball player, right? He was a baseball player back in the 60s. And I forget what team he played for, but he got traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. But he did not want to go to the Phillies because the Phillies, whenever he would go and play in Philadelphia, that's when he encountered his most racist rants and taunts came from Philadelphia, because they were so racist in South Philadelphia. So he hated going to Philadelphia. But then his team traded him to Philadelphia, and he didn't want to go. And so to not go, he decided to protest. He refused to go. And because he refused to go to the team he was traded to, he began free agency. Free agency in sports, it started with Kurt Flood, I believe his name is. Is that his name, Asher?
Whose name again? Can you please repeat that, sir?
What's the name?
Sir, it is.
Huh?
Slaki, sir, it is Kurt Flood. Yes, sir.
Kurt Flood. Now, I want to see a picture of his wife. Let me see Kurt Flood's wife. All right? So now, he started free agency. So everyone that gets to enjoy free agency in every league, you enjoy it because of Kurt Flood. Kurt Flood, he did this in 69. By 71, he was out of baseball. He was gone. He did not get to benefit from it. He did not get the money. He did not get to prosper from it. But right now, the MLB, the National Baseball League, or whatever it is, they are the highest paying league of all of the leagues. Right. If you can get a baseball contract, my God, they regularly, an average player gets $100 million in the baseball league, and that's because of Kurt Flood. And all free agency comes from Kurt Flood. Let me see him and his wife.
Julie Pace.
Put it up on the screen. Come on, Akim. This is fairly easy to find. That's her. That's Kurt Flood's wife. That's his wife. And Kurt Flood got $0, zero benefit. He got nothing. But he stood up and did the right thing. And he got nothing for it. And that woman shared in nothing. That's what she did. She shared in nothing. He lost his job and stood up for what was right. And that woman stood by him until he was dead. She stood by him. And he got nothing. Why should Brian Flores get something? Why should he get something? That's the woman that Kirk Flood chose. And he did this out and lost his job for the principle of the thing because he did not want to go to play for a racist fan base. He didn't want to play for them. And he knew that it would cost him everything. And him and that sister stood together. Now, I have to fight so Brian Flores' wife can make more millions when she leaves him and goes to be with a white man. No, that's not what we teaching here.
Right.
No, no, thank you. Whoopi Goldberg took a stand, and she said what was absolutely true. Jewish people are white people. They're not inferior to white people. They're equal to white people. It is not racist. It is true. Whoopi Goldberg, if she loses her job, then that's fine. People lose their job for telling the truth. She might have to make the sacrifice. What have you done? Look at the life you live. You're making the sacrifice. You're sacrificing. Why shouldn't Whoopi? Whoopi should get fired for what she said. She should, like Kirk Flood did. She should get fired. But here's the thing. If Whoopi doesn't get fired, let me see who makes money. Let me see where her money goes. Show me one of Whoopi Goldberg's boyfriends or husbands that she's had throughout the year. You can just pick one for yourself. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Just pick one. Anytime you're ready. That's one. That's the cat off of Cheers. She was having sex with him. You another one?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. Go ahead. So when it's time for Whoopi to forgive her own people, to connect to her own people, she connects with the bartender from Cheers. That's what she connects with Ted Danson. Let me get another one. You got any more? They're fairly easy to find. Yeah, that's him. That's just one of them. It's like three more of these. That's like three more of these. And you know what? Whoopi Goldberg always struck me as a black woman that thought she was unattractive to black men and thought that she had to be with a white man who was, more cerebral, more artistic, more in her pay bracket because he could see her inner beauty. Let me tell you, sisters, something. These black men will tie fire to Whoopi Goldberg's tail if they had the opportunity. They would take Whoopi Goldberg and tie fire to that tail. You think they would say no? That's some illusion, especially a lot of dark-skinned women. They got some illusion like black men think they're ugly, or they like we think they're ugly, so they got to be with white men. Now we'll tear Whoopi Goldberg up. We'll beat that thing all the way into femininity and sweetness. We'll do it. We'll tear it up. We'll go ahead and do it. All Whoopi Goldberg had to do was give us a chance. That's all. Give us the opportunity to tie fire to that tail. Give us the opportunity. Bring the tail to it. Offer us the tail. A lot of you brothers right now, you'll tail. Let me see who would tail. Let me look at these brothers and see who put hell on Whoopi Goldberg. Ephraim, you seem like you up for the game. Forget about these two. Both of these two would do it in Syracuse. Ephraim, you would do it too. Ephraim, let me see Syracuse again, because both of their eyebrows was up when I put the picture up there. Both of them will tear Whoopi Goldberg tail. They'll be rolling dice for who gets Whoopi Goldberg. They'll do it. They'll do it right there. They'll roll dice for who gets her. They'll do it. Whoopi Goldberg didn't have to be with some devil for the same devils to suspend her for telling the truth. The same devils are going to suspend her for being racist, for saying white people are equal with Jewish people. You should get the job you want. You should be paid equally to any person of any color. You should get what you've earned. You should do it because you work hard, you're talented, and you deserve equal pay to anyone of any race. Right. All I would ask is that you would do the same thing for us. Right. Is that you would give us the opportunity that you would like America to give you. And maybe one day, the same way you're forcing white people through lawsuits to give you an opportunity, maybe one day Commandant General YAHANNA will force you to love your own people. With that, I'll pass the class over to the officer in charge in headquarters. Give him a hand. The water to Puerto Rico, the water to Jerusalem headquarters, the water to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Give him a hand. The water to South Carolina. Give him a hand. Give you a hand. The water to Syracuse. Give Syracuse a hand. Anyone else? The water to Kansas City. Kansas City. Give Kansas City a hand. Good to see you, Warriors. I see you all at the Passover, man. We'll get it down in there in Florida. Fishing, the Passover, all black party. More surprises to come, man. See you, man, at the Passover. The water.
Most High in Christ. Men of Israel, Amadia, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to get one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat. Amadim, Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatan. Yahweh Matan, which means stand. Sisters, Amadim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to get one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat. Amadim, Barak. Yahweh Shema Alatan Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yahweh Matan, which means hands down. Class is missed.
No cowards in our camp, while let their colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you. That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. The IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Comes with all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment, and a hotel, you know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the